everybody. It is Wednesday, the 11th of August, 2021.
Yay, hump day.
Yep. Okay, today we're going to talk about the new movie that we saw this past weekend, The Suicide Squad,
Yay.
which was a direct sequel to Suicide Squad in some ways, and part of the DC universe, or however they want to do it.
I like this one better than I did the other one. That's just me.
I did too. That's the first thing I said there. Say I really like this one a lot better. The director for this was James Gunn. Everybody, if you guys don't know who James Gunn, he is well known for doing stuff in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, working on Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, which were both hits. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out in 2023. We still got 2 more years for that one, but that's fine. I'm not in any rush.
Not rushing that.
It says here that he drew inspiration from war films and the John Ostra's Suicide Squad comics in the 1980s for this film.
I remember those.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the film, it has the same basic idea of the first film. Everybody, where I'm a little closer now, where it's basically people who are outlawed, not outlaws, but criminals, except for
They're in for life.
right, or more, or less.
Yeah.
Every time they do something, they get it, so many years taken off their sentence.
Quid pro quo.
Mm-hmm. If they live.
Yeah, if they live.
And um,
This movie wasn't as dark as the other one.
it was and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Um, it showed a more sadistic side to some of the characters. It's like, like they're just doing a job, because they're basically mercenaries who don't have a choice and they do things. And they get that little bomb planted in their head.
You will. Or you will.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Well, in that aspect, in the violence aspect, it was kind of dark. It was very realistic. They didn't pull any punches.
Mm-hmm. No, they didn't.
Not that they were cruel about when they were doing the violence or killing or whatnot. It was just a matter of business, and this is the way I am.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd sit there and say is the deaths weren't super mega grotesque, or I mean, they were because it was a rated R film, but there was very much a sense of realism in the deaths also.
Yeah, it wasn't long and drawn out. It was kill them and go on to the next one and kill that one.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a chunk.
And we did miss a post-credit scene, Dad.
Yeah.
There was one more.
Yeah.
We missed it.
Yeah.
I'll pull that up later. But yeah, it did say that. Let's see. A lot of the characters returned from the first film. I'm not going to. We're going to keep spoilers down to a minimum on everything. I'd say the actors did really, really good with this. You can tell they had fun.
Oh yeah, they were having a blast, no doubt. More than one way.
Like I said, now I think the only DC movie we haven't seen besides Zack Snyder's Justice League, the original Justice League cut, is probably that Harley Quinn movie, which bombed last year. That Sonic the Hedgehog did way better. Came out like Sonic came out the week later and like
blew it away.
Blew it away.
Literally.
Our 2 weeks later. I can't remember. All I remember is just the first weekend Sonic came out, it already made as much money as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
It was like in like 2 or 3 days. Um,
Now Harley in this was very, very believable
yeah.
until she's a psycho.
Oh yeah, she's a psycho and everything. Um, this was more of the Harley Quinn that's gotten popular in a sense that she's a psycho. She does things her own way. Um, I did the only thing is I sit there and said these are you can sit there and tell that even she has limits on certain things, and even some of the so-called villains like they have like those like that line they won't cross. So I mean they're not like they're nothing like Joker or anything. Uh,
Well, it's not they have humanity. Well, I guess say humanity. They all have their limits
mm-hmm.
that they put on themselves. What
Yeah,
they will and won't do.
yeah. Well, I have to say, let's see. I'll name the actors real quick. Idris Elba. He's done a couple of things. He was Robert Duvall or Bloodsport. In it, and he did a really good job.
Yeah.
John Cena was Christopher Smith, Peacekeeper. You can tell John Cena had a ball doing this. Uh,
Yeah, he's having a real cut up time with it.
um, Joel Kidman as Rick Flag, returning. Sylvester Stallone as the voice of Nanawi or King Shark. Uh,
That's an interesting character.
yeah, no.
Actually, that reminded me of some of the old uh, B-flick shark movies that they made a bunch of in the past 10 years.
Yeah, well, I know King Shark in the comics, I mean, he's a psychotic killer. Like, I mean, he, uh,
This one came across a little bit as a teddy bear to an extent.
yeah, he looked like he was learning.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he ain't the brightest bulb in
no,
the
he hit
pack.
the brighter bulb. Special Stallone did good. As I can tell, he had fun. Um, Viola Davis came back as Amanda Waller. Um, she's a good actress.
Mm-hmm.
She does that role perfect.
Almost
Um,
too good.
Jay Courtney came back as George Digger Harkness or Captain Boomerang. Um, Peter Capita as the Thinker, Garrus Reeves, and I want to say I'm gonna double check him real quick. Michael Rooker was in it as Savant. Uh, you had a Peter Davis as Blackguard. Um, Nathan Filoni as TKD. Well, as always. And Sean Gunn was in it. He was Weasel. And Sean Gunn does the stop motion stuff for Rocket too.
Yeah.
That's James Gunn's brother. Here's another thing. I think he played another role in Guardians too. I can't remember on top of my head. But it's kind of funny. He got Michael Rooker to come in for a little bit for the film. Overall, like you sit there and said, that the film wasn't. I'm glad it wasn't as it was dark, but it didn't have that gritty darkness in it. It wouldn't have worked for this film to make it gritty dark.
No.
It just didn't have that tone.
No.
There were some dark scenes in it. Yeah, but and I know everyone thinks when we mean dark scenes is it has to be like dark outside, and I mean, you can have a very dark scene in broad daylight and just kind of go, wow, that did a 180. That's dark,
I wasn't expecting that.
Right. I mean, there was one or two moments in there, and hey, that was. You guys can't see my hand motions because I'm not going to spoil it. That was unexpected. I
Yeah.
didn't see that happening that fast.
No.
Um,
Yeah, that kind of caught me by. Okay, that was kind of a surprise.
uh,
I'm sure there's a methodology behind it.
hmm
We won't say when, where, or who, but you will see a surprise in there with one of the
We'll do a
characters.
detailed review one day, everybody.
Yeah.
We're just going over basis because I know most people they do like this super detailed review like the next day, and people's like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to see it now. You spoiled it." We're not going to spoil it for you. We're just going to talk about.
No, there's some comedy stuff in there too.
No, oh, definitely. Uh, just the banter that they had.
Yeah.
And I know some people think that banter would not happen against in a life or death situation, and that's something I always sit there and say. I always like when I see a characters kind of have a little banter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we might die. We got a bomb in our heads,
Yeah.
so um,
You may
yeah,
you may or may not die on a mission, but if you don't, if you turn tail or you don't do what you're supposed to do, I will flip the switch and blow your head off.
yeah. The guy who was the thinker dad. Yeah, I was right. He is a he is one of the Doctor Who's.
Yeah, without his garb on, I vaguely remember seeing him.
Look, right here.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um. Oh, there was also that girl who played like the rat girl or something. Can control rats, rat catcher or something.
yeah.
She was an interesting character.
Well, the thing is about the Suicide Squad, they're supposed to all be a bunch of losers, according to society.
hmm
They have a problem.
We always notice that they always have in the Suicide Squad and the Task Force X, whatever they want to call it. You've got your key operatives, and you always got the cannon fodder. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
um, and Waller is such a witch. I mean, she don't care as long as the job gets done. You know, I, I the character I understand was created just for that reason. Okay, I really do. And that's fun. And the actress does a good job.
Oh yeah, she's a great actress.
She,
She comes across as one of those,
she,
I'd slit my own mama's throat.
Waller does.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
she
Uh,
she portrays that type of person.
but how about she's real nice in
Oh
real
yeah.
life. But yeah, she's no Fury though. Uh,
No.
Rather go work for Nick Fury than her.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Should I put a bomb in your head?
mm, no, thank you. I will say though that the creative choice of having like the little how they place the text, like 8 minutes earlier or stuff like that, how they did that.
Oh, they did a little short
No, well, it's
back
like
scene.
when they put the text in, most people will just put like normal text in bold, like what happened, how James Gunn just put it in like the fire,
It was kind of like,
Operation this, and then it kind of went like, then he had the smoke go away, saying, "Oh, at the next operation, oh yeah, we gotta do that first, you know." Uh,
yeah, it's kind of like he was playing catch up in a sense, but
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how he put the text in.
oh, okay,
Like instead of just having this,
yeah,
it was like either roughly in the sand or
yeah,
the flame spelled the words, for
yeah.
the audience. That's what I'm talking about.
That was kind of cartoonish.
It felt like a comic book movie.
Yeah,
A darker comic book movie. I mean, that's not something to take your kids to go see.
oh no,
No, I can't condone letting your kids see that. I'm glad it was rated R because I don't think it would have worked as PG-13.
No,
And
they would have had to cut some stuff, and it just wouldn't worth it. Been just another.
now, I mean, like, I understand why it was rated R,
Oh yeah,
but I mean, like, I would have to say I could see letting a 13-year-old and up watch it with parent supervision
yeah.
after, depending on the kid too.
Oh yeah.
Uh, it's not too bad. It really isn't.
No,
There's just one or two grotesque scenes I can sit there and see why they did that. Uh,
well, disturbing is the word I'm
yeah.
looking for.
Uh,
One in particular that would really get a lot of people.
you talking about the laboratory scene? Eh, which one are you talking about?
Two guys duking it out.
That, yeah, that, yeah. I was thinking the whole lab scene though.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
that was
some of that looked like from a horror movie. I
yeah,
mean,
that
like
was
aliens in dead space.
yeah,
So
that was very Friday the 13th on steroids.
yeah, tell me about it. Uh, I like if there's a sequel. I think they could do more with it because there's so many different characters they can do. I know some people were upset because they didn't have Will Smith come back as Deadshot, and they brought in they brought in I can't remember his name. Bloodsport, but I personally like the fact they brought him back. Uh,
There's
now
a few Easter eggs in there if anybody pays attention. They're not real bright, they're just kind of overall.
Now, I kind of wonder though for the next one, are they going to bring in the second Bloodsport?
That would be interesting.
Well, it could be Bloodsport versus Bloodsport because the first Bloodsport, we saw in this one, and unfortunately, the character in the comics, everybody was killed trying to escape. Um, but there was a third one too, but it was she didn't last long, I don't think. Um, but both Bloodsports died in the same combat for different reasons. One was trying to escape, one was in his cell, and there was a match and got lit on fire. Well, that was Alex Trent, and unlike the original Bloodsport, who was more of a mercenary, kind of felt guilt after the Vietnam War, stuff like that. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
This other one was a racist.
Yeah.
I mean, he destroyed Metropolis and everything. I mean, he had a comic book run for a little while in the Adventures of Superman. So it was a good story arc. It really was.
But they took care of him.
Oh yeah. So I mean, they could easily bring the second Bloodsport up for the next film, and
Well, we know it's going to be another one because of what they did at the end.
partially, yeah. We didn't see the second credit scene, which we'll have to pull up later
Yeah.
because you had to go use the restroom.
Hey, you got to go, you got to go.
Um, the final fight at the end, that was very reminiscent of old. Okay, that was reminiscent of old monster. Yeah, I'm going to say it.
Japanese monster
Movies, and
of the 50s and early 60s. It was a hoot. It was laughable.
it was laughable, it was funny, but it was scary. It was kind of like that really happened, you know. It looks silly, but you're thinking like, oh
That would suck.
yeah, uh man, did I miss some people who were on it? Real quick, I'm sorry.
Now, anybody that likes the old monster movies, that right at the end, I mean, that was reminisce.
I'm trying to see what they're saying about it. I know in pre-production there was a couple of problems with it, and I know because James Gunn was fighting for the rated R, the rated R, you know.
Yeah,
But it's also showing that, which I'm liking, is that people like James Gunn you can do work in two different studios because, oh, sorry about that, everybody. Um, that they're trying to say if you do Marvel, you can only do Marvel. If you do DC, you
see
can
it do DC.
DC, and it's showing that hey, you can work for both companies, or I mean, do it both. You can do two different comic book characters. You know,
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I don't see a problem with that. I
Yeah, as long as you come out with a good product, and that's what they're interested in—a good product that makes money.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it does good at the box office. I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers because of the preprint of the you know because most people gonna want to you would go out and get sick. I mean, we were the only two in the theater last night for our run. Uh, and I hate saying it. I hope that theater of ours don't close.
Yeah,
You're kind of thinking that too.
yeah.
I'm afraid it is. Uh,
Well, everybody's Bob afraid right now.
I know, especially with the Bob 2.0 or 3.0 popping around. Um, I would have to sit there and say definitely that this movie felt more genuine compared to the first film. I felt like the first film, they were too much focused on the doom and gloom and partially Harley's story, and not giving every character more of their due. Where this one,
It's supposed to be a Suicide Squad, not Harley Squad.
yeah, well, but
The last one.
right. Well, and this one also is, if you don't do this, we're all doomed. I mean, you don't have to keep reiterating like in the last one. It just felt like they were trying to go super depressive, and yeah, it didn't work. Uh, Anything you want to add?
Uh, no, just if you pay attention, people, there's a couple of Easter eggs. One of them is so super big it's not even funny.
Oh
They
gosh.
go right over most people's heads. I just say it's a reference to another movie done about 20 years ago, I guess, 30.
20, 30, yeah. Uh, I would have to say I didn't really have a problem with anything in the film.
No.
Oh, excuse me, everybody. I apologize. That's all I can think of today, Dad. What about you?
Yeah, without getting too deep and giving spoilers.
Yeah, and I got to get back to work, everybody. I did this podcast on my lunch break. So, everybody, with that being said, please like and subscribe to us here at Nerds with Cause. It really does help us out. We also have a Facebook page, Nerds with a Cause. And finally, you can leave a comment below, but please keep it respectful and everything. Let us know how you liked the Suicide Squad. We'll be doing a couple reviews of some of the movies we saw more in further detail later this year, especially when it gets closer to the holidays. Give us some more things to talk about, so we can give like a full review. So, all right, with that said, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't do anything stupid. We're out.